I've been involved pretty much from the beginning, kind of. Sometimes more, sometimes less. Like in the beginning I stayed in the camp from when we first occupied like the first couple of weeks, and just before we were under a threat of eviction from St. Paul's, I went back to sleep in the camp a couple of nights. But obviously also when I haven't been staying in the camp, I've done stuff for Occupy. I've mostly been involved in the international communications working group. Just now when I arrived to Finsbury Square, I walked past the info and I saw 5 guys in the info tent. It's definitely true that the camps are quite male-dominated. Often in the General Assemblies, the working groups give some kind of feedback. Someone has to report back to the General Assembly, and then this issue was like almost always raised, oh, it would be good for the person to be female. At some point I spoke in a panel in the Tent City University, and again, like the guy organizing it kind of raised the point, like, yeah, it's really good that, like, you know, you're a female voice. I'm just like, I'm my own voice, I'm not a female voice, like, generally. Yeah, but then again, if someone feels that women are a minority when it comes to, for example, being listened to, then, yeah, that counts as a minority. Or, yeah, women are a minority in a camp. Working groups are more equal, I'd say. And for example, I was thinking about it yesterday in the General Assembly, the people who not necessarily spoke most in terms of like how many times they spoke, but when they spoke, they kind of went on for quite a long time and made like kind of really strong points, and both of them were male. So it's really funny, like when you actually start to like looking at things, you do realize that men just, yeah, take more time speaking, or just like, yeah, make stronger points.
Welcome to Occupy London Roving General Assembly.
Welcome to Occupy London Roving General Assembly.
This is an open General Assembly.
This is an open General Assembly.
Feel free to participate.
Feel free to participate.
One important thing is this.
One important thing is this.
This is a technical point.
This is a technical point.
There's someone outside of the meeting trying to interrupt.
Which means there's somebody outside of the meeting trying to interrupt.
We'll do our best to ignore them.
We'll do our best to ignore them.
The important thing in these General Assemblies
The important thing in these General Assemblies
is that everyone's voice is heard.
is that everyone's voices are heard.
The problem we are facing today
The problem we are facing today
is that Parliament will not listen to the people.
is that Parliament will not listen to the people.
And what are we to do about it?
And what are we to do about it?
So for the breakout groups now,
So for the breakout groups now,
we're going to discuss
we are going to discuss
what it means for the government to retreat from the public sphere.
what it means for the government to retreat from the public sphere.
Are we now at the break point
Are we now at the break point
in our relationship with government?
with our relationship with government?
How can we recapture
How can we recapture
the attention of our MPs?
the attention of our MPs?
Or failing this,
Or failing this,
do we move beyond Parliament?
do we move beyond Parliament?
Do a kind of positive action, say, so this is thinking on my feet now, do some positive action for some good councils that highlight why they're not able to do actions they want to do because of the government.
We asked a few questions.
We asked a few questions.
In a privatised world, where is the motivation?
In a privatised world, where is the motivation?
Is it for the good of the people or profits of the company?
Is it for the good of the people or profits of the company?
We had a little debate
We had a little debate
about whether to set up parallel structures
about whether to set up parallel structures
or to try and influence
or to try and influence
structures that are already in place.
structures that are already in place.
Privatisation is scary
That privatisation is scary
and already happening.
and already happening.
Someone mentioned
Someone mentioned
the government never listened
the government never listens
when people protested against the Iraq war,
When people protested against the Iraq war,
and we have to make sure
and we have to make sure
that people's voices are heard
that people's voices are heard
against any war
against any war,
against Iran.
against Iran.
Corporations
Where some people in corporations
have more power and influence
have more power and influence
than entire nations.
than entire nations.
It's just really funny how only after people have started to point it out that there is kind of a distorted gender balance, I've started to pay attention in, and sometimes just like, yeah, I'm sitting in the kitchen tent or in a meeting, and then I start to like look around and I realize, yeah, actually like 80% of the people here are men. That's true what people say. Even though like I'm probably talking quite a lot about the problems just because of like the topic we are speaking about and stuff, but it's also a really lovely community, and especially for a lot of people who haven't necessarily had a community or kind of a feeling of safety in their life, like that kind of safety that a community provides. For example, homeless people. I can only try and imagine what kind of an experience the camp has been to that kind of people. Because I still, you know, I always have, for example, my lovely housemates and my nice house where I can just like go and take a warm shower, sleep in my own soft bed, and I'm surrounded by loving people there as well. But if you don't have that, you have a certain kind of home in the movement, and just because I was at St. Paul's from the beginning and I woke up there the first morning after we had occupied, and a perfect stranger walked to me and asked me if she could bring me a cup of tea because it would be her honor, because she respected it so much what we were doing. And there was this row of tents. I slept, it was light blue, the tent I slept in. Sweet memories. People are just living their normal lives in their normal bubbles, and then you just kind of walk into that with like crazy hair and carrying a camping mattress, and they're like, where are you coming from? I'm like, well, fighting for economic and social justice.